Shayma, I'll go ahead and get started and go through
Okay,
each
sure.
thing, and then feel free to ask questions as I go. And um, you're lucky because you get my full attention today, but as I mentioned, I'm going to record this so other people can watch online. But so, um, our garden bag, our Build a Garden program, we just started this spring. We have Vines as a local nonprofit. We have 18 community gardens around the county where you can rent a raised garden bed and grow in that. What you grow is for you and your family. We also have a 2-acre farm in downtown Binghamton where we grow food that we then sell to the community. We hire youth who work with us throughout the growing season to help us grow that food. And then they help us get it out to the community through our farm share program, which is a vegetable subscription program. So you sign up, and then each week you get a box of produce of whatever is in season, and you can pick it up at 11 different locations around the county. You can get either our produce share, or you can get a share from 2 of our other farms that supply produce to the program. And then our Green Thumb Workshop Series is a free workshop series that we have. Traditionally, I've held about 30 workshops a year. This year is a little different. We're transitioning everything online and kind of slimming down what we're offering. But we're recording everything, all of our workshops, and putting them on our website and our YouTube channel. But the Build a Garden program, we had planned on launching this fall, but because of the pandemic, we decided, people really want to garden this season. We've had more people sign up for our community gardens than ever before, and we sold out most of our community gardens very early this year. So we decided we'd launch our Build a Garden program where people could either get us, we could either provide people a raised bed in their backyard that we build, or the garden bag. And today what we're going to go over is the garden bag. And we were just talking about this, Shima, about the benefit of the garden bags is that they're portable. You can move them with you. So if you move apartments or houses, you can pick these bags up and take them with you and keep using them. The handles make them easy to move around as well. There's handles on them. They're made from recycled plastic bottles. But they, because of the material these are made from, they're porous, or they can breathe, the air can get through it. That helps with proper, healthy root development and also proper drainage. And there's a lot of things you can grow in your bags. You can grow tomatoes, lettuce, cucumbers, green beans, beets, all kinds of herbs. And what we'll go over today is we'll talk about this packet, what is a garden bag, and this has information on how to use your bag, where you want to put it, how you plant it, things like that. It's on our website, and I've also emailed it out to all of our Build a Garden participants. But it starts off with a glossary. So if I use terms that you don't know, or there's words you don't know in the guide, there's definitions. So, what does direct seeding mean, right? I recognize that not everybody's been farming and knows what that means. So that's gone over in the guide. It also goes over what soil is in the bag. We have in our bags compost, perlite, peat moss, and lime. And this mix makes the bag lighter, but also helps retain the moisture so that they're not drying out as quickly, and also has a good amount of fertility so that you can grow things like tomatoes. And I will go over, I'm going to go over how to transplant seedlings today, and how to also put seeds in your bag. But I just want to point out, before I get into that, a couple more things that are in here. So the guide also has information on where to place your bag. So you want to find a spot around where you live that is sunny, that gets a good amount of sun, ideally 6 full hours. So look for a spot that doesn't have a tall building or tall trees on the southern side, because the sun comes up from the south. and anything blocking that southern sun is going to decrease your sun exposure. But you know, you can also use the shade to your advantage. So if you want to grow things like lettuce or spinach that really don't like the heat or a lot of intense sun, then you can put those in a shaded spot during August so that you can grow those things more easily. What will happen with those plants is that if they get really hot, they get stressed out and they start going to seed. So they'll send a flower stalk right up the center of the plant, and then the plant starts to get bitter and does not taste as good. And they do that basically because they know they're going to die, and so they figure, well, we got to get our seeds and start, you know, reproducing as quickly as possible. So about your bag, a little more detail about your bag. So we have 2 bag options. We have a 7-gallon bag and a 10-gallon bag. And you can see, let's see if I can angle this right. There's a tag on each bag that says 7-gallon or 10-gallon. The 10-gallon is going to be for things like your tomatoes and cucumbers that need a lot more space. And you can also, we also recommend it, I think, for green beans and some other things. But on in your guide, we have directions for a number of different crops that we recommend for growing in these bags that we just know work really well. And each one will tell you, I think does this wind up showing backwards for you, Shema? No? Okay. It does for me. So, all right. So we'll tell you in each of these little guides which size bag to use. So if I'm going to plant baby lettuce, I'm going to use a 7-gallon bag. And it gives you directions on how to plant. So it says take a cup of soil out of the bag, scatter your seeds across the top of it, and then sprinkle that soil back over top and water well. Your plants will come up in about 7 to 14 days. Then we have information on how to care for your bag, when to harvest, and tips on eating and replanting. And then some interesting, you know, nutrient information and other little details about the plants that were helpful. So on our order form, we have the different plants that correspond to what's in this guide. You could also, you know, experiment yourself if you like, but these are the things that we think are going to be the easiest to start with and do really well in the bag. Because I know tomatoes are going to be one of the most popular things, I'm going to show you how to plant a tomato. And then, you know, this will be some questions. I can also show how to direct seed some green beans. That's an easy one, but we'll start with a tomato. So the reason why we're starting with a tomato seedling versus planting the tomato by seed is that if we plant the tomato by seed, there's just not enough time in our growing season for them to grow. They're a tropical plant. So we start with a full grown, or not full grown, but like a very well started tomato plant. Some tips. You can see that there are little leaves that grow even down here and then come up, and the plant itself, when it's full grown, could be easily 6 feet tall. It just depends on how many nutrients you're getting to it. To help it be stronger in the garden bag, we're going to take off any little leaves down at the bottom. And then I'm going to go another couple of inches up and snap off the leaves so I can plant this deeply. Tomato plants will keep sending out roots from its stalk. I don't know if you'll be able to see it here, but you can almost see there's a little one coming out. And so you can bury them a little deep, and this will give them some more strength so that they're less likely to tip over in your bed or in your bag. Okay. And then you can also see this has a tomato started on it. which is awesome, but what might happen is because it's so early in this plant's development, it might put a lot of energy into establishing this one tomato and then not the rest of the leaves or the rest of the flowers. So for this one, I'm gonna take this off, and then we'll let this plant start some more tomatoes once it gets planted. Okay, so to get this out of my pot, I'm just gonna squish around the sides. That'll help loosen up the roots, and I'm gonna pull it out. And I don't know the lighting, if you can see, the roots are starting to really go wrap around the plant. That's what happens when it starts to run out of nutrients. It's trying to put its roots out as far as it can to get more nutrients. So before we replant this, we're gonna break up the roots really gently. And this is all information in your guide. I'm just pulling apart really gently. And this will make it so the roots will get more established in its new home. I'm gonna pull up the 10-gallon bag and angle my camera. Oh, got a slug on my computer keyboard. All right, okay, so you can see the bag. So this soil is like very nice and loose and very easy to work with. You can use a shovel. I like working with my hands, and all I'm gonna do is hollow out a little space. I'm gonna put my tomato seedling in there. I wanna bring it up to about here, the soil up to here, so I'm gonna dig up a little bit more. And I'm going right in the center of the bag. And then I'm gonna just push the soil back over, push it down a little bit. And then the only things I have left to do are to water it well, and then to put a tomato cage around it, or you can use some sticks or garden stakes that you get and some twine so it has some support, because like I mentioned, these can grow to be 6 feet tall, but they need some support so they don't flop over. So yeah, that is probably the easiest way to plant a garden, is to use these bags with this really nice mix. Do you have any questions at this point, Shanna? Okay, I'll show you a couple more things. So we have a number of different herbs that you can get from us, including some parsley and basil that we've already got started as seedlings. And then we have plenty of cilantro and dill seeds that you can put to start in the bag and get started really quickly. So if you want to plant an herb garden, it's really simple. Again, these are some basil. They got a little bit root bound, so I'm just breaking up the roots just a smidge. And I've got some parsley, a couple of different plants. And I can break these off a little bit. They don't mind, they'll be okay being pulled apart a little bit. And this down a little bit more. To make my herb bag, all I'm going to do is make little holes, and I'm going to plant these so that the top of the dirt that they came with is at the top of the soil in the bag. Press it down. And there is information on spacing in your guide. The tomato or a basil you can plant fairly close to each other. They'll be just fine. And then with my parsley also, I'm just gonna dig a little hole, set them inside. Easy, easy. And now you'll be able to have parsley all summer. Your basil might start to flower in the summer when it gets hot, and then you'll want to just it'll start to get bitter as it flowers. So you'll just want to harvest it if it starts to go to flower, turn it into pesto, or freeze it in like in ice cube trays. You can put it with water in ice cube trays, and it lasts really well. And then when you want your basil out of season, just thaw the ice cube and take the leaves out. So again, I'll water this so that these have plenty of water. You're not going to have many weeds coming up in this. You'll have some that you might need to take out, but the thing that you're going to mostly need to do is just keep this watered. You know, check on it every day, especially when you've got 80, 90-degree days. If it's an overcast, cold day and it rains the night before, you'll probably be fine. So it's pretty simple, right?
Thank you very much. It's very simple. Maybe I misunderstood in the beginning. That's why I was asking about the gardening bed. I thought maybe I need to plant these things out. So I couldn't imagine those bags like that. So that was my bad. So thank you for explanation.
Sure, yeah, it's a totally different way to garden. It's not super common. It's becoming more popular, but yeah, absolutely. Most people haven't seen these.
This is great, and would be very, very helpful for me. I mean, I can put them on my balcony.
Yeah, they'll be perfect. That's a great spot for them. And then it's nice. You can just go right out onto the balcony and check on them often.
Yeah.
It's going to be super easy for the kids. Yeah. One of the things I recommend is if you like green beans, I highly recommend doing some green beans in your bag because you can keep planting these throughout the season. So you'll plant your green beans now, you'll harvest them, and once they stop making new green beans, take the plants out and put some more in. They don't use up a lot of nutrients in the soil, so you can keep planting them, and you could easily grow 3 different bags worth of green beans, you know, one after the other during the growing season. And I like that they are, especially for kids, the seeds are nice and big and easy to handle. So it's just a lot easier than the teeny tiny seeds to handle. And they're so good fresh. What do you want to plant?
What do you want to plant? Potatoes.
Potatoes? Potatoes are really fun. Do you know they grow underground?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever dug one up?
No.
No? It's like hunting for treasure.
One treasure. Right? Something like that. Yes.
Yeah. What herbs does your family like?
Parsley. Mint.
Mint.
And I think, I don't know, but rosemary, is it a herb? Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Rosemary grows very well here. And you can even, rosemary, you can grow a plant and it can come back the next year if you don't let it get, if you don't let the bag freeze. So if you have a place you can put it in the winter where it won't freeze, the rosemary should come back the next year. Yeah. What kinds of things do you like to make with parsley?
Could you please repeat?
What kind of dishes do you make with parsley?
We generally use it in our meatballs and salads, and sometimes we just eat it raw.
Yeah, I think it's so tasty.
Yes.
I have guinea pigs too, and it's their favorite. And so I have about 10 parsley plants at my house because they eat an entire plant a day if I let them.
Awesome.
So do you have any questions, or is there anything you'd like me to show you how to plant?
It was quite clear. So if I now fill out the form and choose as like up to 10 garden bags and choose different seedlings like cherry tomatoes and other options, they will come with a bag for each one, right?
Yes. So what we'll do is we'll bring you the bags and then we'll also bring you the seedlings or the seeds, and we'll let you plant them so that
Okay,
you can do that with the kids.
perfect. Now, right after this meeting, I will fill out the form because everything is now clear. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Well, let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you really enjoy gardening this year.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.